British professional tennis player Emma Raducanu is one of the best young players in the world of tennis, even ranking number 10 at the age of just 20. But people think she has had trouble taking criticism and hope she gets used to it. In today's video, we'll talk all about that and look at Emma Raducanu turning emotional upon a tinge of British touch on the other side of the world. First up, why is the British player getting criticized so much?
Definitely, I just want to thank everyone for coming out and staying so late. Really appreciate it.
Emma ranks as the #1 British tennis player by the Women's Tennis Association. Her career in the world of tennis has been going amazing, all thanks to her incredible skills and devotion to her craft. Watching her do her thing in the court is honestly such a joy. She's a really young player and has already accomplished so much in her life, and that's a really impressive thing. She has even won a Grand Slam, making her the first British woman to do so. All in all, what we're trying to say is that Emma is doing amazing. There's not exactly a reason for harsh criticism towards her. She got famous really soon in the game because of how well she played, but all this fame comes at a price. Being in the public eye is great. It has its benefits. I mean, who wouldn't be known all over the world for being good at a sport they play, right? It's something not everyone can do, and a lot of people crave fame. But what we forget is that there's a dark side to all this. When you're really good at what you do and are famous on top of that, it means that anyone and everyone can say whatever they want about you. This means professionals and veterans pointing out the minute flaws in your techniques to people on the internet, just trolling you for the sake of it. Especially when you're a young woman in the public eye, the world can get tough on you. It's hard to face all this, no doubt, but one gets used to it after a while and learns how to deal with it all. Up next, here's what her friend Sonia Cardle said about it.
I struggled to find a way through her today, but it's okay because coming into
Sonia Cardle is a professional tennis player who grew up next to Emma and trained by her side. The two are close friends who care about each other and understand each other's situations. The two at the start of their careers played opposite to each other very often, especially during their junior days. Despite having grown together on the tennis court, the two's careers aren't going forward at the same pace. While Emma is already a Grand Slam champion, Cardle is still trying to establish herself in tours. While talking to Express Sport about her friend and fellow professional tennis player Emma Raducanu, she talked about how her friend would have to deal with everything that comes along with this. She said that she knows that after all the effort Emma has made, she's enjoying some much-deserved success in her career, which is only the start of what's to come for her. She has been playing incredibly well and has proven that she's a force to be reckoned with on the tennis court, especially being as young as Emma is, only 20 years of age. Her success at such a young age is truly commendable, but there's more to the story. Along with the success comes a lot of other things that she's not sure Emma is ready to handle yet. She said that now that she's such a successful young player, she's suddenly in the spotlight, with cameras and press being pointed towards her from every angle. This could be overwhelming for anyone, especially someone so young. Sudden changes always tend to freak one out. Following up, here's what Sonia thinks would be the hardest part of her friend's fame.
Out on Ash, but this is your first ever night match out on that great stadium. How much of an
She said that Emma has never had the kind of attention that she does now, and although that's a great thing for her branding and publicity as a tennis player, it can be too much for the player's nerves to suddenly be in such an intense spotlight. We mean, wouldn't it have the same impact on you? So no wonder Emma's friend is concerned for her, but despite being concerned, she believes in her friend and knows that she'll get through it all. She continued to point out another bad thing that comes with being so famous and being the sudden hot topic of the sports world. She mentioned how anyone and everyone has one thing or the other to say about everything that Emma does. She doesn't even have to mess anything up to invite these comments in. There's always opinions about everything she does, whether she likes it or not. And that, our friends, is the biggest downside of being famous. What do you think? Is it a good thing or bad? Let us know down in the comment section what you think. Emma was criticized a lot all through 2022 for a lot of things. The biggest thing being how she was not giving out results that people would have wanted from her. Another one was how she constantly changed coaches throughout the year. Both of these things and many more made her the target of a lot of criticism coming in from all sides. Up next, she's going to become used to it, says Sonia.
and I kind of went out there with nothing to lose and just knew that if I was going to win or have a shot.
Sonia said that she knows the kind of people that are on Emma's team, and that's something that brings her comfort for her friend. The British player said that Emma is surrounded by people who love her and support her, and that she's in a very positive and healthy environment to help her deal with everything that people are saying about her these days. Continuing, Cardle said that keeping in mind how good of a player Emma is and how well she had been doing, winning a Grand Slam title and everything, it was kind of expected to have all this fame fame come to her. And with that fame, she had expected all the bad sides of being famous coming in her life as well. She then talked about how she thinks her friend is going to eventually get used to all this and find the fun in her fame as well. There's bad sides to all of it, but there sure are a lot of good things that come with being a famous and well-recognized player too. The 21-year-old said that Emma will get used to being looked at all the time, and to people focusing on her every move, looking for a flaw to point out and talk about. That's just what people do. It's just unfortunately one of the factors of being a top tennis player. She added, ending her statement with the interviewer. And we agree with her. It's one of the downsides of not only being a top tennis player, but being at the top of anything, be it an actor, singer, or sportsman. Every famous person faces some consequences along with the fruit of their effort. Coming up next, Emma Raducanu got emotional away from home. It's not unusual for players to move away from their countries and hometowns to practice their game and join tournaments. Why do they do this? Well, to take advantage of weather conditions in certain parts of the world, or to train with the best coaches, or in the best courts of the world. It's a sacrifice that most, if not all, players have to make to really see themselves shine as players and make their countries proud of their accomplishments. You know, as they say, nothing worth having comes without a struggle, and that's true in the world of sports too. With all that said, it's also not uncommon or weird for players to feel homesick or sad about being away from home for so long. We mean, they're just people like us too, so it makes sense. Wouldn't you feel sad and miss your home too if you had to spend months away from your comfort place? Exactly. Emma has the same situation, traveling all over the world for games. Although that sounds like a dream to a lot of you, it can definitely make you feel drained and very homesick. Currently, after her Abu Dhabi loss, she's staying in Singapore, still away from home, which she misses dearly. While she was in Abu Dhabi shortly after her loss, something made her miss her homeland even more. What was it? Let's talk all about it. Finally, what made her miss her homeland even more? When you're away from home or a place that you love a lot, even the smallest things remind you of that place. Same with people you love. The smallest things remind you of them, and then you miss them with all your heart. The same thing happened with Emma in Abu Dhabi after her loss. But you all must be wondering, what was it exactly that reminded her of her home and made her miss Britain with such intensity? Well, as we said, even the most distant and smallest things can do the trick. For Emma, it was seeing the British Airways. Yep, you heard that right. That's what made her really emotional and miss her home even more than she did before. It also made her feel a little comfort seeing a little piece of home where she was, so far away from her homeland. Such a small world, wouldn't you guys agree? Feeling all her emotions in the moment, she felt like it was just the right moment to share with her fans and followers. She took to Instagram to share her feelings with her followers through her story, a little piece of home on the other side of the world, she wrote along with the pictures she posted. As soon as she posted the story, fans were quick to react to it and repost it on their own fan accounts. Everyone was talking about it and sending her positive vibes. Now, this is one good thing about being famous. Your fans have your back whenever you need positivity and support in emotional times. That's all we have time for in today's video. How do you deal with criticism? Let us know all about your ways down in the comments section. Don't forget to give this video a big thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and smash that subscribe button to watch more similar videos in the future. With all that said, as always, we'll see you in our next video.
Experienced opponent, so I knew that I'd have to bring it today, and to play on Ash for the first time, I think it was a little bit of a nerve.